Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving Schools.
Hello and welcome to Over the Town. Here's what we got to talk about tonight. A little bit happier, aren't we? Kenilworth Road football felt much better after Saturday's win. Yes, I said win against Portsmouth. A game that showed us, I think, some of the loot we've been missing for a while. There's still more to do though, isn't there? And we have to think about that. Also positive, Matt's first win as Luton manager at last. They say one swallow doesn't make a summer, don't they? But there's some good moments, and we hope we can take that to the next game. We've got to talk about that game in a bit more detail. Have your 3-word review, a little bit more as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, you will see that we've got with us today Darren and Steve. Nearly forgot your name again, Steve.
Don't blame you. How are you, all right?
Happy.
Yeah.
It was nice to walk away from the stadium with just a little bit of happiness. I'm going to say we did all right.
We done okay. We won 3 points. We left, and it was still light outside. The sun was shining.
Yeah. Atmosphere inside the stadium, Darren, maybe a little bit better because we've won as well. You know, there was none of that backbiting going on, and look, it wasn't 100% fantastic. I think Matt's acknowledged that, but it's a step up, isn't it?
You got to do what you got to do at this stage, haven't you? Are we worried about the performances? We need the points. So first half was obviously better than the second half. You know, you got in the lead and did what we had to do. So we sort of maybe saw a couple of sides to us in the end on Saturday. But you're right. You know, maybe it's prolonging the inevitable. But at least we have prolonged it.
Yeah, I mean, it is all about the points at this stage, and you know, Matt said himself, he's more concerned about the performances because with the performances, the points will come. Yeah, I think I thought Portsmouth were poor, but we got the win, and that is all that matters really at this moment.
We often say you can only play what's put in front of you. So you know, I think we should have won at Portsmouth, let alone against Portsmouth at home.
Yeah, we would have if we kept 11 on the pitch. We think we would have.
Yeah,
some decent performances, especially by the new guy, Christ. He was outstanding. I'm still waiting for Asgard to show me more. I thought he did okay. And your nemesis, Darren, I did text you like 3 minutes in. I just
3 minutes. I'm surprised it took that long, Dave.
3 minutes. Jordan Clark had a blinder, didn't he?
A blinder?
Yeah. He played well.
He played well. He did play well. Look, there could be a number of elements to it. He's sat out 3 games. You know, arguably, I think there is a thing. Clark and Morris were Edwards' teachers' pets. I think you could tell that. You know, captain, vice captain. I think maybe there was an element where they're a shoe-in, and be it either injury. We were told he had a slight injury, but he's sat out 3 games, and maybe he's looking at that going, "Hang on a minute, I need to up my game." Maybe it was a little kick up the backside that he needed, or he generally was injured, but. You know, Clark wants to play every minute of every game, and he's come back and did himself some right favours. It just felt like he got back to doing some simple things. You know, instead of trying to run the show, he just did some simple things and just a bit more positive. We'll come on to the goal, but you know, a couple of months back, he probably checks, turns, and comes back or something. You know, so no, I was delighted for him. You know, and no,
I'm sorry to introduce it straight away.
Of course.
You can see he feels dirty though, doesn't he? Having to say it.
I was going to say, Steve, halfway through the game, I think I did send him a message saying. I was in the group, wasn't it?
I've got a terrible signal when I'm in that ground.
Yeah, that's why I didn't reply.
No, he did play well though, but to me, that is how he tries to play every single game. You know, I think he's always trying to make the right decision with regards to a pass, but. You know, all the midfielders and other players, they're only as good as runs that are being made for them. You know, and if there's no one to pass to, that might explain sometimes why players are checking back,
yeah.
or if they haven't got the bravery to make that pass. You know, it could be either of those two things. But, you know, to me, he played like he always tries to play, but I just think that things went for him a bit more. But
wouldn't it be interesting to see the managers pre-match chat with the players and the plan to see whether actually it came off?
Well, I know, you know, distinctly his pre-match presser that came out the day before was different. There was a different tone to Bloomfield, a little bit more concise, a little bit more
to the point, wasn't it?
Yeah,
almost like I do understand what everyone's saying and I accept it. You know, and I don't know what the right phrase is. Maybe he was a tad more abrupt or accepting of reality and what everyone was seeing, and I think he was looking to address some of those points that what everyone else was seeing.
The task for him, you know, is in a hiding to nothing when he comes in and the team are performing that badly, and he's trying to put his mark on it. Did we see Matt's mark on the game last weekend?
I don't know necessarily, Dave, to be honest with you. I don't think that, you know, the performance was, you know, a massive evolution of what we have been doing. I just thought that it worked for us on the day, you know, against Portsmouth. I didn't see a whole lot different. I mean, it was lovely to have Chris in there because we had some pace.
Yeah.
You know, maybe even, you know, go back several years, the first time that we've got genuine pace at the centre of the defence.
I don't feel we have seen it yet. You know, no matter what league we're in next season, I think then we'll see Bloomfield's team. He came in. He plays a 4-2-3-1. He played it at Wickham, I believe. That's his style. And he came in and actually in his interview he said about Bowler. They brought Bowler in to play that formation. And then we've had to change the formation to fit the players that we've got in our squad. You know, arguably Edwards probably had to do that a little bit as well, and then he square pegs and round holes because of who was available.
Yeah.
So you know, we've got more defenders than attackers maybe, and they've got to do a certain way. So he's piecing it together. He's making it work. But no, I don't think that is a Bloomfield team.
No.
But fair play, you know, Portsmouth are playing well. I think, was it 3 out of 4 they've won, or they haven't lost in 4? You know, so they're doing really well. Josh Murphy is obviously one of their main men, and they knew he was quick and everything else, and so he stuck with Chris to counteract that. So, you know, fair play, but, you know, a little bit of nous, a little, you know.
Yeah, I think we're a long way away from what Matt Bloomfield would consider one of his teams, or even maybe one of his performances. I think it's a scramble through to the end of the season by hook or by crook, and then it will go from there.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the game in a little bit more detail. Let's start with your 3-word reviews. Chris says, Luton Town. Chris didn't say this. I forgot to say. Luton Town 1, Portsmouth 0. 3-word reviews. Chris says about bloody time. Ruben, much needed win. Kyle, huge 3 points. Connor, finally some fight. Rob, must build on. Tommy, Makoso, Naismith, Clark. Dan, horrendous refereeing performance. Fraser, great escapes on. Question mark there. John, I know you want to read it this way, so I'll read it in the way he says, Christ the Redeemer, but it is Chris, just let you know. And Parker, not dead yet. Do you want to pick one of those or two of those fellas and let me know what you think? So?
I'll just go with Ruben, much needed win for, you know, what we've sort of touched on already. It's all about the points. We're third from bottom now.
Well, that looks even, you know, I know it's false, and at the time of recording, you know, we know that Burnley and Cardiff are playing.
Yeah.
And
Hull
are playing Plymouth. But it could be a right different.
I know, but the players, and certainly, you know, a lot of fans would think, oh, it's not so desperate looking now. And whatever ounce of comfort or confidence you can get from looking at a table, looking at whatever stats you want, or looking at the performance, if anything you can take out of it, take it, because, you know, we've got a real fight on our hands. We've got to seriously upturn our points return from the, you know, what the season so far.
True.
So whatever we can take out of whatever scenario, let's do it.
Darren, what are you going to say?
I've got a couple. Connor, finally some fight. because after the debacle of the derby, where there just wasn't any, they had to work hard to keep that clean sheet on Saturday. You know, they really had to dig in.
That is a really good point. Actually, they did have to work hard.
They did collectively, and my word, they were taking a battering as well. You know, Portsmouth were clearly out to not injure. I'm not saying they're doing it deliberately, but they were physical, really physical. So, you know, mentally and physically, our boys had to fight, and they did. They did for one of the first proper times this season. I think I've seen that, a little bit of the old Luton, if you like. But I don't think we can let this pass without going with Dan. Horrendous refereeing performance. It was abysmal.
I mean, to start with, you know, he was sort of not on our side, but we were getting some decisions. You know, I think he booked 2 or 3 of their players relatively early on, and we thought, oh, there's no way this is going to finish 11 against 11. But then it just quickly transpired that he was just a bag of shit for both sides. But it was just nonsense decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, as we talk about this, we'll get to, you know, when Clark was upended, and, you know, we'll get to that. But I just thought there was bizarre decisions throughout on both sides.
Absolute clean-cut tackles. Clark did one in the middle of the park, which is as clean a tackle as you can see. I think the other fella just jumped over his legs, you know, because that's what you do, so you don't get... And he gave a free kick away. And they nearly scored off that.
Yeah.
The fella headed over. He would have been absolutely livid if they'd scored that. Yeah. But I think, look, when both sets of players and both sets of fans are getting on at the ref, you know, I think that says it all. And
it was another game where Carlton Morris was being treated like a Christmas tree, because, you know, there were defenders and midfielders pretending to be baubles and hanging off him. I know how he plays. Okay, I know he's holding them and stuff like that. But, you know, again, he got so little out of... When there's 2 people wrestling, the amount of times he was found to be the aggressor, that has to be a referee going out with a preconceived idea.
Yep.
He's a fouler, he's a diver, and this is what he does, so I'm going to pull him up on it every single time.
Yeah. And there was times where Carlton's shirt was almost off his back when he was getting tugged with it.
Yeah.
It's disappointing that you have to start with that, isn't it? That the referee was atrocious. Thankfully, no VAR. Or thankfully, maybe VAR. Because I don't know. Maybe he should have dismissed 1 or 2 of their players at one point.
The one on Walsh over by the dugout area around there.
Yeah.
That looked nasty.
I mean, as I say, from the angle that I had, it looked as if he just clearly kicked through the back of his legs. You know, a couple of people were around me saying, "Oh no, it was just a bad tackle. It was no more than a yellow." But to me, it didn't look like a tackle. It looked like he just kicked through the back of his legs.
Took him out,
as if it was a Lansbury free kick he was trying to emulate.
But again, you can tell by the players' reactions, and a lot of the Luton players, the bench, a couple of people on the bench got booked, didn't they? I don't know whether it was them
I think Bloomfield was really quite animated about it.
That says, it speaks volumes. He was horrendous, absolutely horrendous, and there'll be no punishment for him, and it's a disgrace because...
Well, you know what they do with punishing? They just put him on a lower league for 1 game.
Yeah.
And then he pees them off.
He still wouldn't have found his level.
4 changes from the Watford game. Naismith, Makoso, Clark and Brown in for Walters, Addison, Nakamba and Nordas. And I have to say, I didn't really miss Nakamba.
No.
Not at all. I'm very disappointed how he's not been firing this season. I don't think he's really shown what he showed previously.
He's clearly not fit. You know, I think he was hiding a little bit. He played the first half Watford, didn't he? And didn't Bloomfield say that he was struggling with an injury, but didn't tell him. And you know, he wants game time. He wants to play. But you know, when we're in the situation we're in, you can't carry players. You know, you need to all to be 100%.
I know I've referred to this period of time on numerous occasions, normally talking about Lockyer. But the championship season, when we won up through the playoffs, that last 10 or 11 games, he was another one that he was just a man mountain. He was bossing the midfield. He wasn't orchestrating the play because he's not that kind of player, but he was bossing the midfield. He was hunting people down. He was just winning the ball time and time again. And since then, since we signed him,
haven't had that sort of player.
We have not had him.
Yeah. And I think... You forget that we've got Lockyer, and you want him back. And I hope he does get a chance to put a shirt on again. And hopefully, he's recovering from his latest setback.
Naismith being back is huge.
Naismith, honestly, the amount of criticism that signing got when we took him on, I think he's proven a lot of doubters wrong, isn't he?
It just shows the power of a leader who is vocal and also has complete faith in their ability. Because I would imagine that other players are feeding off, I know he sort of almost looks a little bit kamikaze sometimes when he's doing a step over or he cuts inside and that. But he's got total belief. You can see him organising the defence. And this is what we've said. A leader, and he just seems to have helped so many players out already.
If we had him from the start of the season, do you think we'd be where we are now?
We'll be in a better position. That you can almost guarantee.
Yeah.
Where we'll be, I don't know, because we're still not scoring anywhere near enough goals. However, we would be better off than where we are, undoubtedly, mate.
Could you argue that if Reece Burke had stayed fit, he'd have done the same sort of job?
He's up there for me. I really like Burke. He's up there. He's maybe not as Naismith's a bit more of a player. Like you said, he would cut inside. He would sell a dummy and whatever. I think Burke keeps it simple, but he can bring it out. But Burke is one hell of a defender.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Darren. He's a really good defender and he knows his job. I don't see him again as that leader role. I don't see him. I don't see him being the vocal person, the organiser. But he's great at what he does.
I think we started really well Saturday. I mean, the atmosphere was decent as well. It was a decent atmosphere. And
it helps that you got the videos with the speakers working as well on the screen.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
It was slightly louder. Either there was less people talking in the stands, or they found another volume.
I don't know if they used the different speaker system, but it was an awful lot better. The sound of it.
It still could be miles better.
Maybe you need to have the hair pulled out your ears.
Well, at least, and the video was decent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With cup final on it. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Anyway, let's not go there.
Actually, you're right, Steve, because people around me noticed it more this time round. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was.
It's a big positive move from the club, really.
I really like it, and I think we might have spoke about it before. I think we do need to move with the times. I think we need to do a little bit more modern football, and unfortunately, some Luton fans that may be stuck in their ways just need to get with the programme.
I'd imagine that's the same at every club. Every club has got their generations of supporter groups and stuff, but that's the sort of stuff that we must be taking to the new stadium.
100%.
Feisty start. Jacob's written down here. Feisty start from the off, and we've already mentioned the tackle on Walsh and 3 bookings, and it was like I felt that we were going for it from minute one. I thought we was on it and we was faster and I suppose I can't think of the word now. Just more
intense.
More intense. Thank you. More intense than we've been for a few weeks.
Yeah. One of the only things that it bothers me sometimes here, like we were saying, we've got 3 of them on yellow cards quite early. We never target those players.
No.
We never go, right, that fullback's got a yellow, let's just get at him. We don't seem to try and punish those early yellows.
Yeah.
But you're right, they got those yellows because we went off, maybe not quite steam train, but not far off.
No. So it was a really good start. They showed in what they were intending to do. I say again, I didn't think Portsmouth were really any good at all on the day, and you can.
I generally think that Portsmouth fans would agree with you.
Yeah.
Vardy, who's a Portsmouth fan, who was in the away end, he basically went expecting to lose, and I'm thinking that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Expecting to lose because their away form allegedly is not that great. Mm-hmm. But I said to him, you're way above us right now. Why wouldn't you come to Luton, who have not been performing well, and think you might win?
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, we've seen it on numerous occasions, not just this season, sort of over a few seasons where teams haven't come at us. Even on our rise up the division, teams wouldn't come at us, and we were sort of saying, if a team showed some bravery, there are times where we're there to be there for the taking. Yeah. But no, I say I was really pleased with the the way we started. Alfie getting on the ball. Jones was really sort of trying hard again.
Some decent crosses as well.
Yeah, Yeah, that's right. Again, hit and miss, but that's something we've got to work on again. But
I think sometimes the frustrating thing for me, and I don't know if you boys agree, is that they're going down the wing and you're looking for that cross and you go, where's Morris?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not in the box. He should be in the box, right?
He has to be. And to me, Asgard has to be as well, because he's good in the air. Yeah, we've seen him win plenty of flick-on headers, so he can win a header. You've got to be in that position.
I just wonder with Asgard, and I know you were saying earlier about he played well against Sheffield United, and we were hoping it's this player that we were hoping for. Just trying to remember with the Sheffield United game, was he more out wide and he was coming in, whereas the last couple of games he's had to play that central role behind the striker, and it just seems like he's getting a bit crowded out. It's almost like he needs a bit of room to do a bit of flair and everything.
But the result of him being crowded out, it means it frees somebody else up, and we can take advantage of that too. But if they're worried about his performance, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I would anticipate that he's one of our better ball players, so I would rather they were worrying on someone else, and he was getting freed up. And I mean, just something very quickly. There's some website, Footy Stats, and it said for Luton, and I find this a surprise, 16 shots during the game. I don't really remember that many shots on target. 3.
Yeah,
and that's the concern. That is still the concern.
Yeah, and you're right, Dave. Is it because Morris is captain? And he was going to be captain, but him and Naismith and Clark are now on the pitch together, and you start going, well, who gets captaincy? He's going to give it to Morris, but I just wonder whether that captaincy doesn't help Morris in the sense of, and I know he got no favours from the referee, and I felt sorry for Morris on Saturday because they can't all not be fouls.
No,
but he's trying to lead. He's trying to buy free kicks. Some of them are free kicks. He doesn't get them. He's dropping deep. Is he trying to do too much because he's trying to lead, trying to inspire? Whereas actually, go and be our number 9. Go and be our number 9, and just go and plonk yourself in that box. And because he is a goal scorer.
Yeah,
but you've got to be in and around that 6 yard penalty spot area to put them in.
Well, let's talk about the goal, because it was a counter-attack, really. It was a brilliant counter-attack from Portsmouth free kick almost, wasn't it? Was it a free kick? It was a free kick, wasn't it? And we moved the ball really quick down the left side. And the cross, I tell you, it was right next to where I stand. And I just thought, you needed to look up a bit more there. Have a lucky deflection. Hits the post.
I'm going to say, because I think it was Jacob Brown sort of just put it into an area.
Well, he put it into the right area, Steve, but, there was people to hit.
Yeah.
And we, if that hadn't hit the post, we don't score there.
No, that's exactly it. It looked like he got sort of underneath the defender because he just tried to sort of shovel it away, as I say, it hit the post. But, Clark carried on his run. He got the ball. And it's one of my shouts at the game. Drive at him, keep going, and he did. A couple of people were saying, he should have passed it earlier, but he laid it off. Brown in, but he carried on his run and he managed to pick up the rebound. So it was good. It's being adventurous. It's taking a risk about carrying on the run.
It's amazing what can happen if you're positive. And it was very Liverpool-esque, wasn't it? The home game, Chong wants, Chong gets. It had that about it. When it broke, and it could have been any player. It happened to be Clark. But when it broke, I saw him run out the area, and you're right, and it's like, go.
Yeah.
Do not turn or hold that ball.
Yeah.
And he started going sideways. He started going out towards the main stand. And I was like, do not. And then he cut back and then went for the area.
Yeah.
Exactly the right decision at the right time with pace. But what was really pleasing is 3 other players went with him.
Yeah,
exactly that.
They went with him. We attacked in some numbers.
I saw a few. Particularly Walsh, as a few times that he was busting the gut to make an extra man up front.
Well, Walsh, there's a great picture where when the defender fell and it hit the post, come back, Walsh has just gone straight over the top of that defender, kept him down, kept him back, and there's a little picture of him with a grin in the background when Clark puts it in.
Brilliant.
But I think in previous games, because we haven't had that sort of oomph, if you like.
Also, I would say we haven't had that luck either.
We haven't had the luck.
We haven't had any luck in that
But
respect.
you make your own luck, and by putting players up there and doing that, you get your own luck. But I think if you go back to 2 months, for instance, probably not even that. When Clark goes, he might have one that goes with him. You know, and like I said, he had 3, maybe 4 that went with him.
Yeah,
so maybe that's Matt's influence there.
It could well be. And again, that's what I was saying. Someone can only pass if people are making runs. He had options.
Yeah.
I genuinely felt we could have been 2 or 3 up in the first half. I thought we had a couple of great chances. There was one from Alfie that, you know, say off the line, it was like scrambled away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you revert back to a Luton supporter that thinks, well, if we don't take our chances, the way we've been playing, this second half could be tough. And
you think
weren't far off
Portsmouth
that.
won't be this poor again?
They won't be this poor again second half.
Well, they made a change at half time over on their right, and that pinned Dougherty back. He couldn't get up. But it was clearly a tactic from them, because Dougherty was having some joy in that first half, and to the point where Dougherty came off because. You might as well just stick on more of a defensive mind. I think he ended up putting Bell out there, didn't he? You know,
can I just say then, we talk about Matt Bloomfield, and, you know, we was always worried about Rob not changing the team quick enough.
Yeah,
I mean, he made a really quick change when he saw the tactical change. He made a change fairly quickly in that second half.
Yeah, no,
and you're
good-
right, and
good
switched
point.
it back around.
Yeah.
Are we pleased he does this sort of thing now? We're thinking, you know, if we don't win there, do we slate him? No. Because he's giving it a go and he's reacting to a team change for the opposition.
Yeah, and do you think for him as well, he's now won a game in the Championship, and he's a Championship winning manager now, and he's going to get even more belief in making those decisions. And
Well,
things,
I hope
you know?
he does sort of get some belief and joy out of it, because it must have been a real hard slog. Because, you know, I believe in when he says, you know, he wakes up, he's thinking about it, he goes to sleep thinking about it. So that role is really intense, I would imagine, especially when you're struggling and trying to find a formula. So, you know, I hope that he does take positives from it, but, you know...
He doesn't seem to be scared to make a change, which is great. Whether they work or not, but he doesn't seem to be scared. And you know, classically, not waiting always to the 82nd minute to do it.
Yeah.
He will do it when he sees right, which is quite refreshing.
During the game, Portsmouth getting more and more possession, they're coming at you, and wave after wave. For me, it felt like we weren't breaking our lines too many times. We weren't holding the ball a lot. And I just felt, it's coming, this goal is coming. But much to our amazement, the closest they really got. And can I just say, though, Makoso, defending, superb.
There was one in the first half. he completely air kicked a shot on the edge of their box, didn't he? And they broke, and he literally ran past everyone to get back. And he then did he shield it? He shielded it out and got a goal kick.
And did you see him?
And then he went to the crowd
yeah.
and did that. And I'm like, he gets it. Because this lad gets it.
I think he also loves playing up to the crowd. There was a couple of times, I think, down in your corner as well. Maybe I think when you had a corner, you know, there was quite a lot. So he obviously loves all that. But he reminds me of Curtis Davis when we had him. You know, like a Rolls Royce sort of engine, and you know, covered the ground sort of effortlessly. So it's a really difficult position for a young player. But, you know, and again, I think this is where the likes of Naismith is absolutely wonderful for his development, you know. And you said about the captaincy thing, you know, a few moments ago. I don't give a rat's arse if someone's a lone player. If they're the right player, and if maybe it does just let Morris just concentrate on being in the centre, making opportunities and taking shots and headers, then I would much rather be that. You know, that the humble pie was, you know, both parties sort of even getting together and sort of, you know, making the deal happen. I feel that he's a natural leader. I feel that he's a natural captain. You know, I don't think Colton is. Just let Colton worry about his own game. He will still be that person that encourages and that. Yeah. But, you know, the fact he's a lone player, I doesn't think makes any difference. I would make him captain.
Because right now, they should be sorting out a contract for him to play for us next season. They should be doing that right now. Not waiting until the end of the season. Because he'll be putting in performances where other people will be looking at him. I'll be like, right, we've given.
I'll be very surprised if Naismith isn't a Luton player next season.
Yes, so would I be.
Because I think he really likes the club.
Yeah.
But I also think the majority of other clubs will look at his age and look that he hasn't really played a lot for the last 2 years. And I think most clubs will just say, no, that's it enough. We're not even going to look at him.
And with the captaincy thing, do you think actually if there's someone else was captain, you know, they can go up to Morris and say, calm down for 5 minutes, calm down for 10 minutes, keep your nose clean. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I do. And I feel that even if Naismith wasn't captain, he's a senior player, he's been there, done that, he would do that to him anyway. So I don't see that. I just feel, I think you made a point, Darren, that maybe if Carlton wasn't captain, he could just concentrate on his game. And I don't think it would make any difference at all to Naismith because he naturally does that.
Yeah.
I don't think he would do anything more other than, toss the coin with the ref. I don't think he would do anything less. So I just think it potentially could give Carlton an opportunity just to crack on with his own game.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that heart in mouth moment at the end? And thankfully, Ogilvy couldn't see the goal from 3 yards out. I mean, that was we talked about luck earlier. We've made some luck. It would, if that goes in for me, season-ending goal, that one. Yeah,
and again, like we were saying, that's the one off the free kick. That was never a free kick as well. Yeah. So the whole sort of feeling hard done by. But my word,
if that's a Luton player, you're really going at him for missing from there.
To not even hit the target.
I mean, that shows how fragile the season is at this point, though. But, we've not been having a lot of luck. I mean, it was an awful miss. But what I don't understand, we've been sort of saying well done to, the defenders. He was central. He was, I think he was maybe 7 yards, 6, 7, 8 yards, whatever.
It was closer than that, Steve. Right. It really was.
But there was no one near him.
No, exactly. But, you make your own luck, we said. And we're lucky that he was rubbish.
I think had we... I'm trying to think of the timings because McGuinness came on, didn't he? And look, I haven't...
He got really badly injured. I didn't see what happened.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of because he was it his knee or something. Yeah. I don't know whether he turned it, but then he
was hobbling, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he battled on through it. Look, he came on and looked rock solid, McGuinness, and I'll give him that due because sometimes I'm quite harsh on him, but he looked rock solid. But I'm just wondering whether that chance came not long after we changed the defence around or whatever, and maybe just someone just lost. I'm not saying it was McGuinness, but someone just lost their man. But like you said, one moment like that and it's all wrong.
And we've spoken about just switching off for a couple of moments and a goal scored. That was one time when it didn't happen, but it could so easily have been. And our season is on a knife edge.
I would say that was Leeds United, they score. If that was Sheffield United, they score that goal. We were just lucky it was Ogilvy, really. The Clark penalty incident, we touched on that. Two things infuriate me about that one. The first one is the decision. Now it's up your end. 100% penalty.
It's clear as day.
Absolutely.
In real time, it's as clear as day. Look, Clark has kind of half bought it, but it's there. He's in his normal stride pattern. His leg is coming down. The defender's leg's out. His leg catches it and he goes over. It is 100% a penalty all day long.
At the time, I was wondering if his standing foot had slipped slightly, which is why he then went over. But I look back and that is not the case at all. He, the guy's hung a leg out and, he's gone over. It was as clear as a pen as I think you're ever going to see.
Yeah, you wouldn't need VAR, but I mean, if it went to VAR...
Well, we obviously needed VAR.
But you shouldn't need to because it was that clear. But if VAR's in, you look at it once, one angle, once, you go, oh yeah, it's a penalty.
Well, having said that, VAR the other night was like an 8-minute decision for an offside was at the Bournemouth game. Horrendous. And that was all semi-automated, was it, as well?
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse.
But the only consolation was the referee got absolutely swatted.
Who kicked the ball at him?
It was one of their defenders.
One of their defenders.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because then he blew his whistle and you thought, okay, he's going to give the penalty then. Because he's thought about it. He's got hit in the head and he's right, all right, let's come.
Because the Luton players didn't even really appeal.
Because it was so obvious.
Yeah, because they thought, oh well, this is a pen.
And he didn't give it. Then gives the ball to them, which he has to, obviously, because it hit. If they cleared it, hit the ball at the time, I thought we might have kicked it at him, but clearly not.
No.
I just wish it had hit him a little bit harder. To be fair,
Might have knocked some sense into him.
I mean, let's be fair. Portsmouth would claim that Naismith may have handled in the area, but I don't care.
No.
The referee was crap for us, he was crap for them, and the relief as the whistle went was all around, and it's really going to spur us on, okay, because we've got a tough set of games coming up.
Yes.
It's good to get the 3 points. Can we get anything at Burnley, or are we just writing that one off?
I think it's pretty much a write-off. I mean, they do seem to be quite boring, and that's speaking to some Burnley fans. You know, so I think. I mean, if we got anything, it would be amazing. But they just don't concede, do they? They just do not concede.
I just wanted to say, actually, we should say that's the first clean sheet we've kept for quite a number of games. 7 games.
Could well be, yeah.
It's only the
first win in 12.
I know.
It's crazy that we're in this situation.
Yeah.
Got a lot to ask at Burnley, you know. Third in the league, currently playing as we're talking. They you know, not even better.
The trouble is we
haven't beaten them in 9 games.
No, we got a bit of luck in the Premier League there, didn't we? With a bit of VAR luck.
Well, that was right. See, that's how crap VAR is. Really, I'm not. That's.
But I think if you had a big enough squad, and we don't, because we've still got a number of injuries. But if you had a big enough squad, for me, you'd rotate it and concentrate on Cardiff on the Tuesday.
Well, Cardiff is really important, as is Hull.
I just don't see that we can let a game pass by, Darren. I just think that we must go full tilt.
No, I agree, but I just think with Burnley how they are at the moment, you know, I know they conceded in the cup, but that wasn't Burnley, that was their reserve team.
They don't concede at home. They don't concede.
That what's his name, Trafford in goal, and that set of players, they do not concede goals. You know, like you're saying, Dave, at home, you know, it's you either go up there and put 2 banks of 5 there and try and take a 0-0, but you know, if you go gun ho and you know, an injury or fatigue for Tuesday, you know, imagine putting everything into it and losing just 1-0 to Burnley and then running out of steam for Cardiff.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't think we can let any game pass by, but, you know.
Every game's a cup final as far as I'm concerned right now. We need to get a run of not losing. First off, let's not lose the next game.
I'll tell you what, though, how Luton would it be to go and score... I don't know, they're playing
3-0
tonight.
maybe.
Well, but I know Burnley are playing tonight, but if they keep a clean sheet tonight, it must be 12 games. How Luton would it be to go there and be the ones to do it?
But it would make it more likely that they're going to concede in their next game because, you know, it just brings it nearer that when they do concede.
Right. Well, talking about that then, Burnley, let's have your score predictions for that game. Steve, we'll start with you.
1-0 Burnley.
1-0 Burnley.
Jacob's gone 1-0 Luton.
Well done, Jacob.
Yep.
Yeah, well done, Jacob. About time.
Fair enough. I'm going to go 2-0 Burnley.
And I am going to go, you'll be surprised by this, it's going to be a no-scoring draw. A no-scoring draw. It's going to be 0-0.
What a way of saying 0-0.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be a no-scoring
exactly.
draw.
Just while we're talking about Burnley, I've got good friends we met on our honeymoon, and we've been to see him numerous times, been to sort of various times up to watch the football and that, and going up there again this weekend. And for some God knows what reason, they listen to the pod, even though they're Burnley fans, they listen every week. So hello to John, Kirsty and Alison. See you this weekend. It's just a shame that we're going to take the points away from them.
Nice one. I hope that
Come
works.
on.
Just a little bit of news from the Luton ladies reaching the League Cup final on
Yes.
Sunday. So they had a 3-1 extra victory over Royston Town. I did read that Kenilworth Road is going to host a couple of finals as well. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Okay.
And anyone going to Hull and have made their plans already, goodness me, good old Sky
I know.
shoving it up us again.
But they don't care. No, but it's not us. So they don't care about any fans, do they?
Well, fans in particular. Next 5 fixtures: Burnley, Cardiff, Borough, Hull and Leeds.
Got to get at least 7 points from that.
I need 9. I think
I know, but
if we can get 9, if we can be lucky enough to get 9, the whole world changes around it, doesn't it? And we'll be a bit more positive.
Here's one for you. So going towards the end of the season, obviously we've got Cardiff away and Hull away, and then we've got Derby away, and who else is down there? Stoke away. And then we've got the harder teams at home. Would we rather it that with our poor away form? Would we rather it like that, or those other teams at home? Do you know what I mean? Would you?
Who knows? I think it's 50-50, to be honest with you. I mean, Stoke seem to be a sorry old outfit. They've just got it wrong. Sorry, not Stoke did. Stoke, the real sorry team. They've just got worse and worse over the last 5 or 6 years. It's just bringing another manager who's got to deal with players that aren't his, and there's so many. It's so fragmented that it could be their turn. We really could pull them back into it.
But if we had those 4 teams at home, you'd be thinking,
we got a chance.
Got a chance.
Yeah. Well, it's never a dull moment watching Luton Town, is it? And it's never a dull moment for the whole of the time I've watched them since the 1970s. It's been one of those weeks. If you're still with us, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please skip over onto YouTube. You can see how good looking the other two are. And like and subscribe if you will, because it does go a long way to help us push this content out for you guys. Let's hope we get a result against Burnley and we're really gain positive. Or if we don't get a result, we get a fantastic performance, which gives us inspiration for the Cardiff away game. Until then, sorry for the lateness of this pod. That's purely down to me. But we'll see you all again next week, the usual time for its release. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.